And Lights Up, Bronx Arts Middle. This is our special edition of Lights Up. We're doing it today for Friday, March 29th, 2019. Today is an A day, and scholars, we're putting, of course, a spotlight on the writing and the reading portion of the ELA state test, which is going to be April 2nd. We have some tips for you. We want to remind you that on the first day of testing, day one, it is reading. And you are going to read 5 passages, 5 pretty long passages and 35 multiple choice questions. And here are some pointers for you. We are suggesting that you always read the question before the passage. Reading the question before the passage gives you focus, and it gives you something to look for as you read. Annotate as you read, especially for those of you who have a little bit of a wandering mind, like me. Annotating and reading the question before you read the passage focuses you and gives you something to look for. This is a reading test, not a memory test, so go back to the text as often as you want. Go back, turn pages, underline things, mark it up as much as you want because it's a reading test. You don't have to remember it from memory as you answer a question 2 or 3 pages away. And look back at the text for every answer. That is day 1 of testing, which is reading. And we have 2 more suggestions for you. This text is designed so you do not understand every word. Yes. And that is okay, because you're going to be able to figure out meaning through context clues and all the other strategies you have learned in your ELA class. Do not get upset if you don't understand the meaning of some words. Don't let that throw you. And also remember that when the test tells you to read a section, don't listen. Don't just read that one section. Read everything around it because they're tricky. They are tricky on this. When it comes to writing, that's going to be on day 2. You're going to write 6 short responses and 1 essay. And our suggestion is to think circa for all 7 of these responses. Very important because you must make some sort of inference or claim in your answer. If you just retell the story, you're not going to get all the points you need. So please think circa, and that means claim, evidence, reasoning, counterclaim, and audience. And I want to remind you that your audience is a grader that is looking to give you points. That's what they're trained to do, so you've got to give them something. And always remember, too, that your audience is not another kid, it's an adult. Remember that as you write your answer. And if you can't come up with, if you just at least do claim, evidence, reasoning, that should be good for your short responses. But of course, all 5 is what we want for the essay. Now, the one thing to never do is leave an answer blank, because if you leave the answer blank, that person, that grader that I told you is looking for points to give you, has no option to give you nothing but a 0. You leave something blank like a short response or an essay, you're not making a 2 or a 3 or a 4. Just be aware of that. All right, the day of the test, of course, is April 2nd. 8 a.m. is when we want you here because 9:20 you are absent. It's a long day in the testing room, and we have expectations from the state. Remember, these are the expectations, and we have to abide by them. There is no kind of negotiation here. And that's why we are recommending you bring 2 books with you. If you need books, remember, we brought them out to the CAF yesterday, or visit your ELA classroom. Now let's go to the call board for your announcements. Scholars, we are reminding you, respect is what it's about. It's a part of BASE, and we want you to always communicate with respect. Here's our definition of what it's like to communicate with respect. And come on, folks. That's all we ask for. Moving right along. Scholars, remember to put your chairs up before you leave for school at the end of the day. Before you leave for home. Before you leave school for home at the end of the day. And here it is. Same updates from yesterday, but I believe it's important, and I'll leave you to watch this.
Let's get ready to rumble!
And remember, we have an average for the school, and it's 80. That's our goal. Turn in those parent surveys. And we'll see who takes the trophy at our next community meeting when the parent surveys end. So scholars, as Rihanna says, shine bright like a And our star